And that's how I guess I probably learned a lot of things. Now, when we talk about learning joyfully and lessons sticking with us, the one thing I always ask people to do is enjoy the journey. You see, it's a very funny thing. We talked about school. We actually went to school only for a dozen years. We went to college for what? 3 years, maybe 5 years, and maybe in some very rare cases, 7 years. But life after that is going to be for 30 years, 35 years, 40 years maybe. You're going to work or you're going to run a business for much longer. So how are you preparing for it? School, one didn't even realize, it just happened. And I guess only the last couple of years of school, we really sat down to probably prepare. But then what was that preparation? Preparing to get up early in the morning to go for a class, then to go to another class, and then to go to another class, then to go to school, and then to come back and mug up whatever you learned all day. We didn't grow up doing all that in our school days. We grew up playing a lot, running around a lot. But how are you preparing for life? How are you preparing for corporate life? How are you preparing for work life? It is, I think, akin to running the marathon race. If school or college was a sprint, where you didn't realize, and you just made that 100 or 200 meter dash, work life is like running the marathon. And if you were to ask a marathon runner how he prepares for it or how he runs it, he's going to say it's very different. Because running a marathon requires A, endurance, B, tremendous amount of stamina, C, a hell of a lot of patience, because you might just see people overtaking you, you may be lagging behind, and you may suddenly change gears and then move ahead. Life is a long distance race. And in a long distance race, you're likely to come across hills, you're likely to come across valleys, you're likely to come across rainy roads, you're likely to come across a lot of rough terrain. How do we handle all that? One exam in school or one exam in college, we flunk and we feel miserable. Life is going to throw the mark sheet at you in many different ways. At times, like a floating kite, and at times, like a rocket. How are you going to take it? So that's where I think you need to again go back to school, and this time not focus on classes in school, but probably on the vacation trips that you made. I'm sure a lot of you traveled from home, from your place where you studied, to maybe your grandparents' hometown, taking a long-distance train journey. At least I used to do that. I grew up in Delhi, and for us, the annual pilgrimage to our grandparents' homes by train was a very exciting thing. Summertime, you can imagine how India would be in summer when you cut through Haryana and Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan and Maharashtra, not Rajasthan, sorry, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, and then finally Tamil Nadu. Traveling royal class because that's what my dad could afford. Sticking your head out of the window, remembering all the names of the railway stations, jumping up and down the aisle, jumping onto the railway platform, memorizing the names of the railway stations. And one railway station's name was very interesting. Sri Venkata Narasimha Raju Varipeta. I went up to the station master and asked him, wow, what a long name, phenomenal. And he, in that very dry railway official style, said, no, the name is much longer. We couldn't get a board so wide. Now, you can pick up general knowledge, not necessarily from a classroom. You can pick it up from a hell of a lot of travel as well. Why I'm talking about enjoying the journey is, I'm sure each one of you undertook a similar trip, and one particular thing that happened was, when you reached your destination, you told your sister or your brother, oh, we've reached so soon. The journey got over too soon. Now, most of you are looking at your destination already. You're already imagining yourself as a CEO, as a managing director, as a very successful businessman, as a very successful owner of a business. My only request to you is, in that hurry to reach your destination, don't forget to enjoy the journey. Because you aren't going to make these kind of journeys very often in life. And every journey teaches you a hell of a lot of things. Extremely important for you to enjoy the journey. It's not just me telling you this. Many famous poets say this. I know a song where the poet says very emphatically, probably every third or fourth line, where he says, and I'm sure you also know it, Manzil se behtar lagne lage hai ye raaste. Wonderful song, wonderful film. It's about traveling and discovering things in life. So please, do enjoy the journey.